Jeffrey Epstein, officially a financier. In reality, a man at the center of a dark network that reached the most powerful people in the world. This is not just the story of a criminal. It is the story of a system built on money, power, silence, and fear. In this video, we will trace Epstein's life from the year he was born to how an unknown school teacher became a man welcomed by the global elite. Jeffrey Edward Epstein was born on January 20th, 1953, in Brooklyn, New York. His family was not wealthy. His father, Seymour Epstein, worked as a groundskeeper for the city. His mother, Pauline Epstein, was a homemaker. He did not come from money. He did not come from power. He had no natural connection to elite circles. But from a young age, Epstein was known to be intelligent and academically gifted. Epstein excelled in mathematics during high school, which helped him gain admission to Cooper Union, a prestigious institution. However, he left without earning a degree. He later attended New York University, but once again, there is no official record of graduation. From the very beginning, Epstein's academic background was incomplete and unclear. Yet somehow, despite lacking formal qualifications, he gained access to elite institutions. This was the first major red flag in his story. In 1974, at just 21 years old, Epstein somehow became a teacher at the Dalton School, one of New York's most elite private schools. He had no teaching degree, no formal training. Dalton School educated the children of wealthy and powerful families. This gave Epstein access not only to students, but more importantly, to their parents. This access would become one of the most important turning points in his life. One of the parents Epstein met at Dalton School would change his life forever. Alan Ace Greenberg. Greenberg was a top executive at Bear Stearns, one of Wall Street's most powerful investment banks. In 1976, Epstein left teaching and joined Bear Stearns. He had no finance degree, no formal experience, yet he rose quickly. The unanswered question remains: how did Epstein earn this level of trust? After leaving Bear Stearns, Epstein launched his own firm, but his actual clients were never clearly identified. Officially, he worked only for ultra-wealthy, highly secretive individuals. Their identities were never fully disclosed. Yet Epstein's wealth exploded. Private jets, luxury mansions, and eventually, a private island. By the 1990s, Epstein's circle had dramatically changed. Politicians, royal family members, billionaires. At this point, Epstein was no longer just a financier. He was a man who knew everyone, yet was never fully known. And behind the scenes, the darkest criminal network was quietly forming. At this stage, the story had not yet reached the public, but the signs were there. There was silence, and that silence was a warning. At the center of the Epstein story is a small island in the Caribbean. Its name is Little St. James. It is located in the U.S. Virgin Islands, which means it is technically U.S. territory. Jeffrey Epstein purchased the island in 1998 for an estimated $7 to $8 million. But this was not a simple vacation property. He turned the island into a fully isolated private zone, far from public oversight. Little St. James was designed as a high-security compound. The island contained a main mansion, guest houses, surveillance systems, a private dock, a helicopter landing area. The most suspicious structure was a dome-shaped, temple-like building on the highest point of the island. Epstein claimed it was used for meditation. No clear explanation of its actual purpose was ever provided. According to flight logs and witness testimony, guests frequently arrived on the island via private jets. One of these aircraft became known as the Lolita Express. Those alleged to have visited the island included politicians, academics, business leaders, figures from media and entertainment. We will not go into details here. You already know why this place has drawn so much attention. For years, the island was rarely inspected, but in the mid-2000s, the first official complaints emerged. After Epstein's arrest in 2019, the FBI conducted a raid on the island. Images from Little St. James were released to the public for the first time. From that moment on, it became widely known as Epstein Island. Today, Little St. James still exists, but much of what allegedly happened there was never fully examined in court. Epstein is dead. Cases were closed. Witnesses went silent. And one question remains: How much of the truth about this island was ever truly revealed?